Good evening. Welcome to the March 18th, 2026 meeting of the Town of Concord Historic Districts Commission. The commission will review 6 new applications and 2 items under other business this evening. We are conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the commission. To participate, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking, and in order to preserve bandwidth, may need to turn off video, with the exception of the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. I will call on commissioners for comment on an application and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion from the commission to continue, to approve with condition, or to reject, ask for a second, and then conduct a roll call vote. Once the commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. Now I'll do a roll call for members. I should have introduced myself. I'm Kate Chartner. I'm the chair of the HDC at present. And there's Kristen, great. Okay, the members we have tonight are Dennis Fiore. Dennis, there.
Oh, here.
Tim Whitney.
Present.
Walter Clay.
Here as best I can.
And Jeff Young.
Here.
And Kristen Dahlman.
Here, and I arrived 5 minutes ago from Logan Airport.
That's it. I was probably asking about you right at that time. Well done, back from Florida. Thank you.
Yeah,
Voting
back
members,
again on Saturday.
voting members this evening will be Tim Whitney, Walter Clay, Jeff Young, Dennis Fiore, and myself. Voting members for the Concord Center for the Visual Arts application will be Walter Clay, Dennis Fiore, Jeff Young, Kristen Dahlman, and myself. Tim Whitney will recuse himself at that time. So without further ado, is Mimi Graney here to kick us off? Yes. I'll just add, Mimi is here to talk about the multicolored crosswalk project, which is under debate if that's actually really in our purview. So thank you for presenting it, and hopefully this should move along pretty quickly.
Great. I'm also presenting with Reverend Amy Friedman. So if she could be unmuted and if I could share my screen. Oh, and I've got permission. Great. Thank you. So we're here presenting for Pride Crossing, which are rainbow crosswalks being proposed. Actually, there's being 2 proposed, one in West Concord, which is outside of a historic district, and another in Concord Center. So Amy, if you'd like to, Amy is the Minister for Religious Education at First Parish and part of the Concord Pride, and I'll let her introduce the overall concept.
Thank you, Mimi, and thank you, everyone. I looked at the rules, so I want to make sure to do that correctly. I'm Reverend Amy Friedman. Serve at First Parish in Concord, which of course is at 20 Lexington Road. And I am representing Concord Pride, which you may know evolved or developed from our DEI committee. And it is meant to help our local community better celebrate LGBTQ plus Pride. And we've been doing that for the past 3 years. This will be the 3rd year of having a town-wide celebration of Concord Pride. And I have really enjoyed being a part of the leadership team. We have found that it's truly a grassroots movement. The neighborhood is very engaged in this celebration. Our aim is to affirm the LGBTQ plus residents of Concord, and also to make it clear that we are a welcoming place for all people, for diverse families. And we found that through our small efforts, which continue to evolve every year, that we've wanted to have more visible signs of that welcome and to celebrate the diversity. And so one of the ways that this is happening nationwide is there are these pride crosswalks popping up across the country and also in Canada and Europe. And it's an attempt to show another visible sign that it is a place of welcome, a place of safety, and all the values that we aspire to as a local community. And the reason why Mimi invited me, which I'm so honored to be able to be invited to help present this, is because I just wanted to let you know that in our efforts of Pride, which takes place in June, we have found a wonderful response in the local neighborhood. In fact, this past year, all of the businesses along Main Street at our invitation put up rainbow bunting and other decorations. And so it really has been a celebration all along Main Street. And this is just another way of showing a sign of hope and a colorful way to demonstrate that we are a loving and inclusive community. So I thank you for your consideration. Mimi has more of the technical parts of this presentation.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Amy. So some of those rainbow crosswalks that have been popping up literally all over the world, they're often laid down in lots of different materials. Sometimes they're in chalk, sometimes they're in latex or oil paint, sometimes in thermoplastic, which is kind of the material that traditional crosswalks are actually made out of. Chalk obviously is very, very temporary. But also has a tendency of bleeding and being messy. Latex paint ends up looking really good for about a day, and it wears very unevenly and is not a good material to use. Thermoplastic is a very expensive material to use. We're talking, five figures to be able to execute in that material. So we're taking a page out of how we had done the sidewalk decals in West Concord. On the right, you can see this is one of them. On the left is a community that has been doing the sidewalk decals for a number of years in Winchester. And it's a material that's specifically meant to be used on under pedestrian foot traffic. It's a kind of plastic material. It can goes down kind of like a giant sticker and comes up without leaving a trace. It was up for several months last summer in West Concord, and the West Concord Cultural District is going to be proposing their art loop again for this summer. So we haven't seen this executed on a roadway before locally. So we're working with Public Works, and we're going to be doing a test of one decal on a roadway under vehicle traffic to see on how it responds. The great thing about these decals is that they can be literally just peel up a corner and you can lift it off. So it's really easy to go up and down. So the specific crosswalk that we're looking at is the one right on Main Street opposite Vanderhoof's. And the nearby businesses, as Amy mentioned, have been really supportive of this program. In West Concord, it's right near the one there is in front of Eva's Little Kitchen. And she's like, I'll bake rainbow cookies. Folks are really kind of excited about how it kind of highlights the district. The mock-up here on the right, we're going to need to adjust it just slightly. The Department of Transportation has, at the federal level, has slightly changed their rules. And we'd have to create, the colors will have to be stepped in by 6 inches on each side. So it'll be kind of a narrower band of color. So you can see that this is the kind of the crosswalk with the voids open where you can see the pavement underneath. We're proposing that there be individual colors of these stickers, these decals that would be in the voids along the way. We do need to step it in a little 6 inches by each side, just so that it makes those 2 vertical lines be more visible to read as a clear crosswalk. And because some of these yellow colors of the progress flag are a little too close to transportation yellow colors, we have to change those colors. So we're going to have to kind of fiddle around with the order of the colors and maybe adjust the yellow a little bit to make sure we're in compliance with transportation regulations. The proposal is for the annual Pride event is going to be the first Saturday of June. We're proposing to do our test decal when the West Concord folks are going to be putting down their decals, which is going to be the end of April. We'll leave it down for a couple weeks to see if it sticks. And then the idea is for the sidewalk, the crosswalk decals to be put down right after Memorial Day, basically for the month of June, and to be peeled up the weekend before the 4th of July. So, kind of the precise dates, because we have to work with a licensed contractor sometime the first week of June, and they'd be taken up June 26th. So I welcome any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mimi and Amy. Sorry about that. I, had read your memo to the select board from the December 31st, so I'd seen the description there, and I don't have any further questions, but maybe one of the commissioners does.
I think it sounds like a great idea. Are they slippery? Is that plastic slippery?
No, it's got a special skid resistant coating because it's meant for, use on pavements under pedestrian foot traffic.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it would be, this is just a random observer comment. I think I've seen them sometimes and they've looked like banners. They look like the Pride inclusion flag just as a banner. Amy, you're nodding. Maybe you know the one I'm talking about.
I have seen them done that way. That's why
Yeah.
I'm nodding. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I guess maybe doesn't follow crosswalk protocol or something. I always thought those looked kind of cool, but
Well, because you can do that if you're using different materials, but because we're having to do kind of space limited decals, we thought this might work better.
yeah, no. Looks
So
good.
Main Street falls under the Department of Transportation?
Because all of these are major roadways, the Department of Transportation has specific guidelines for traffic safety.
Interesting that the yellow can't be.
I thought it was just on federally owned land.
I guess not.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
I've been working with the engineering department of Public Works on the guidelines.
All right. Any other questions on the commission?
Mimi, it's one crosswalk in the historic district, did you say?
The one that we're proposing that's in front of 28 Main Street in Concord Center is in the historic district. The other one that we're working on is on at 110 Commonwealth Avenue in West Concord, which is not in a district. So we've got two.
And is the reason it's just one and not more because of cost, or just curious?
Right now we haven't done this material before on a roadway, so that's one issue. And some it's cost. It's going to be about $4,000 altogether. You could just do it with the decals in that ballpark.
Because if there were more, I would vote for more.
I would agree. I think they're great.
This location
pretty
is
neat.
closer to the center of town where the Pride festivities will end up the end of the March.
Mm.
I agree. It should be all of the sidewalks on Main Street. That'd be beautiful and poignant.
Well, maybe we'll come up with some other crosswalks for you next summer.
Let's see. Anyone else? And or I'll open it to public. All right. We've got a lot of members of the public tuned in tonight. Does anyone have any questions about the Pride crosswalks? No. Okay. Perhaps a commissioner could make a motion.
I move that we approve the the Pride crosswalk on Main Street.
Second.
Thanks, Tim. All right. Let's see. Voting, Dennis,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
and I'm an I. So thanks, Mimi and Amy. Good luck, and we're excited to see it come the spring.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Okay, great. So moving on to our next item, which is, okay. Oh, right. 100 Kais Road. Scott Thayer here for Mary Diem. No,
He's here.
muted. Let's see. Did you see him?
Scott?
Yeah, I did see him. Yes.
Maybe he can't get his camera to work.
Maybe he was here. He's gone now.
Here,
Wait, did I just hear here? Here.
can you hear me now?
Barely.
Faintly. Where are you? Are you trying to outdo Walter in inaccessibility? We can't see you and we can barely hear you. We see your name.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me any better now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Good evening.
Hello.
We are proposing to replace an existing patio door with a new Anderson 400 series door, including the transoms above the door and exterior trim, all which would be painted to match the existing building colors. And this replacement is consistent with the many replacements we've done in the past.
Right.
That's about as simple as it gets.
Let's see. Do we have any of the images, Kim? We have seen this. I don't know if everyone had a chance to look at the application, but we've sort of done lather, rinse, repeat a number of times on this kind of renovation. Oh,
Project.
One up, yeah.
yeah, yeah, 100 Kais. There we go. Thanks, Kim. Jeff, I guess I know the rest of us have seen this kind of modification before. You probably haven't on the commission, but maybe you've come across it yourself in any of these buildings.
I mean, I use the Anderson 400s all the time on my building projects, so it's a great product. And I know I went before you guys once to do it on a house on Monument Street, and it was approved. So
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with this. This seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, there's not much difference in the way it looks, is there? I mean, it's going to look pretty much the way it does now, correct?
It looks almost identical to what's there now. Yes.
Okay.
So haven't we talked about somehow doing this as administrative approval?
We have.
For this, yeah, because we get it so often.
Scott comes in front of us and we approve it. And
Scott likes us.
It's a effort for everybody, including Scott.
Well, these are different than the ones we've seen
Are
on
they?
glass, which are the ones
Okay.
with the wood in the middle is replaced with plate glass. So it's slightly different than
All right.
I mean, not that we haven't had several of these, but
Yeah.
you're thinking about the ones up higher.
Yeah.
They don't open out
Got
into
that
the-
panel. Yeah.
Yeah, there are very few of these doors left to replace in the building. I would say
We hope to see you to the very end then.
Well, Scott, soon they'll all have to be replaced again. So just
Yeah, come around again.
Scott Jr. will step up. All right. Let's see then. I take it there aren't any questions from the commission. Does anyone in the viewing public have a question about the proposed renovation here? I know it's a renovation, updating. No. Okay. Then perhaps a commissioner could put forth a motion.
I propose we approved 100 Kais Road, Unit 211 as submitted.
How about a second? Thank you, Dennis. All right. Jeff? How about you? Good. Walter?
Aye.
Dennis?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So thank you, Scott, once again. Nice to see you and or hear you. And you've been approved.
Thank you.
And you are free. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now we're back to 26 Main Street for the blade sign. I think Lisa Himmelman will be presenting that. I think I saw your name.
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, nice to meet all of you. I'm Lisa Himmelman. I recently opened a shop called Crafted Together at 26 Main Street in Concord. We are located above Landvest Real Estate, and you can access the shop via the door that is between Landvest and Vanderhoofs. Today, I'm here proposing a blade sign for my shop to be located above that 26 Main Street door. I've been working with Bill Crosby from Crosby Designs on a sign. I know that Kim helped with submitting the application and the mock-ups for that sign. So I'm here to answer any questions, and I know Bill can answer any questions about the design as well.
Okay, thanks. Is Bill on tonight?
He's there.
Oh, there you are, Crosby Corner.
We need some description here of what we're looking at and where.
There we go.
So that's one of the proposed designs, and you can see that it's a blade sign sticking out of the building above the 26 Main Street door. I know that Bill created a few different mock-ups. I want to make sure that it's in line with what your commission you would like to see on this building, and I'm very comfortable with however you want it to look. That's my logo, which I know is a little bit out there, and so I'm very happy to default to one of the other mock-ups, which are pictured here.
Okay, thank you.
Lisa, do you have a preferred one of these?
I would say the rest of the building, it looks like they have almost a dark green background with either yellow or gold lettering. And I'm comfortable with that. I think I happen to like that design and that color scheme the best if I were to pick one out of the proposed mock-ups.
Is it that one there shown?
That one that's being shown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good question, Tim. Good to know. Together.
What are the dimensions? Is that like 2 feet wide and about a foot or so high?
I'm gonna default to Bill on that one.
Muted, Bill.
Bill, you're muted.
I mean, it looks fine. Look to be in scale. Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we just went when we were looking at the street. I would say it would be safe to do a as a backup, even though she does like her crafted a logo. I said we could make that work but I always like to bring a couple of choices so we can get through and cut to the chase because she's already in there. So that is I had drawings with measurements, but 24 by 30 or 36, which was matching. If you scroll to the Christian Science building, it was there we go, 32-24. That would be the overall shape and close to the logo, the ovals too, depending on which one. That one's
Okay.
probably yeah.
And is that pretty much in your experience standard through the area?
You asking Bill? Me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't see me.
No, No, some people have a lot bigger signs than that, but based on the look of that street, I was suggesting that we stay not any farther than, 32 for the, just for the overall size. The Landvest sign's really big actually, but, and there's, I think their square is, might even be 36 by 40 because it's pretty deep compared to that. So I was just saying, when you're on the second floor, you know, even though that space is available, it takes her right up the stairs. I just said you probably don't want to overpower some of the other people that have bigger space than you. So it just seemed like the appropriate size for it without, losing too much visibility.
So you're exercising deference
Yeah,
in
just
consideration of the historic district.
a little conservative, yeah.
What is the sign material made
So
from?
it's the same PVC that we always carve into and treated like wood, and all soft edges, and we were even going to throw it out there. We were thinking about either a combination of raised and carved letters like we do, and a little either a round over or a cove on the edge, depending on which color ends up would be the choice. So and if we did a flat one, that would be the shadow is sort of just showing would be the raised letter. Might not be that dramatic, but I wanted to be able to read. So we're thinking sort of raised letters and then a carved letters at the bottom.
So crafted together would be raised and the charm bar part is
Yeah.
recessed.
Yeah, I mean, it could go the other way, but it's hard to make the letters. They don't last very long if we make the letters teeny and pin them in there. So it's usually the main name if we're going to raise anything, and if not, it would be really nice all carved too. So and it's up, we're up for both, and they both look nice. So
Okay.
like the Christian Science sign, the book is 3D raised and then the letters are carved. That's how we did that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I see the sign you mean.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, commissioners?
I
Say
have
that-
concerns
Yeah,
about the font
Go
face.
ahead.
Okay, Kristen, sorry.
I have some concerns about the font face being a little playful.
Yes, I do too.
Can we go back and look at the sign again? Maybe where they're all stacked together. Yeah. Are we talking about F, Bill?
We were leaving it kind of wide open for you and her to discuss. If she gives you a favorite, I think I had just put the H. I think is the one that we put up in the building, but it's each one is just when we went with a lighter color. I added a little shadow to it. The crafted E is just brown letters. H. I can't see the one on the ABC. I can't see D now, but it's F and H. There's a couple of different subtle different greens, and but just creating some contrast. So the dark letters here on say number C show up about as good as the white letters, but if it's a white letter, I'll usually put a slightly darker, tint the background just a little bit darker. But I thought all of these ones at least were readable, and then if everybody picked one, that would be the one we'd go with.
I think we had a lot of conversations, especially when the beauty store was coming in. I forgot the name of it.
Yes.
But whether signs should be serif, sans serif, and the look and feel of it. And I think the font face of this goes beyond that question. It's I don't know how appropriate it is in the historic district.
I agree. I understand, you know, particularly for this sort of business, wanting to have something something that is sort of playful and youthful, but I think this font is, or typeface, I'm not sure which is the right word, but is a little too,
Crafty.
who said that?
Too
I
crafty.
said that.
I wish I said it.
Walter,
Yeah,
disregard it if you're not visual.
you know,
Sorry.
informal,
It's
informal,
me. It's Walter saying crafty. Yeah.
informal
Well,
is
one
the right
one
word,
immediate
but
possibility would be to make the crafted together, which is the most obvious part of this, more classic, perhaps
Yep.
the font that
Yep.
is being used for handmade goods, and just reverse that. And as a compromise, if we wanted to compromise to a degree, we could funkify and craftify the handmade goods in Charm Bar and leave the more visible crafted together in a more standard font.
Yeah.
I'll chime in here that I'm happy with whatever makes all of you happy. My shop on the inside is already very funky, so I am okay in a good way. So I am perfectly fine with changing the font to something that's more classic if that's, if that's better for everyone.
Yeah, I think what he was suggesting is, so we could get through it, is do the bottom two lines in the top font and then the top line in the other font, which I think I would be okay with that. It would be
Sure.
great. We'd have to imagine what it looks like, but if you guys liked it, we would, I would be sending you a proof anyway, but if you guys picked one of those, I'd be up for that, Lisa, if you think that's okay.
That's fine with me.
It doesn't
I'm
totally.
gonna say that
Walter speaking again. It doesn't totally resolve the question necessarily. So, Kate, would you be okay with that? Since the applicant is okay, you can't see me, so I'm making.
Walter, you are a
conciliatory
different
gestures.
man hiding behind, since you're with your face not
we
visible,
can feel you waving your hands.
you're a
Okay,
different
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You're speaking differently. It's interesting, but let's see. I see Kristen furrowing her brow. Are you able to envision that, or do you think, Kristen, even as a kind of, footnote font, this is still not quite right?
I don't know how legible it will be if you take that chunky font and whether you'd have enough room for all those words on the bottom. But I think that like serif Garamond font works fine for the top.
I would suggest I agree with Kristen, and I would suggest we just keep with that font on both top and bottom.
I think that's best.
And I do like the color of the white and the darker green. And I think the size looks completely appropriate. That's just my opinion.
So could crafted together in Garamond be all caps? And then the bit below be mixed? I mean, just so that there's some kind of delineation between the two. I'm a sign designer or anything, but I mean, is caps,
Yeah, it totally could be all caps. And the only thing I would suggest maybe is just if we're going to use the font at the bottom, leave the bottom the way it is, take that font and go to the top. And I think either bump caps, which is just, all caps with just the first word, the first letter being a little bit larger, and just going, there's so many Garamonds that, we could go click up a couple of them just to bold it up a little bit. But
I wasn't suggesting exactly Garamond. I was just suggesting that it was like Garamond. So I don't know what you're using.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's a Garamond style font, just kind of very readable and a little on the plain side. So we were trying to jazz it up a little bit, but I think Lisa has said it a couple of times. So if we could get to going up to that same colors, top and bottom, with the white. It would go to the white letters. We'd go a little bit bigger or fill the space, and either upper and lowercase, which I think would get a little redundant on the whole thing. So I kind of like all caps. Lisa, would that be cool with you?
Yeah, that's what I prefer too.
Yeah. So we could do that.
Okay, I think that would be more suitable for what we typically advise signs in the district.
We have them submit it administratively, the final revised.
Yeah, I think we can do that. So we'll approve it tonight, potentially, if someone makes that motion, with the caveat that final approval comes once we've had an administrative submission of the revision.
Okay.
But first, let's see if anyone in
Right.
the crowd has any questions or comments. So I'm opening it up for public comment for 26 Main, crafted together. No, everybody seems satisfied. Okay, so back to the commission. Could somebody make a motion, please?
I think it's Kristen's.
Oh, Kristen's motion. Okay, yeah, Kristen.
I move that we approve, was it 26?
Yeah.
Main Street? The signage for 26 Main Street with the stipulation of the recommended changes to be approved administratively with final approval.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second.
was that Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so voting on this will be Kristen, but not Dennis. I'm gonna make a little shift since she made the motion. Tim,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So it has been sort of approved, at least keeping the ball moving forward for you, Lisa. And
Awesome.
we'll look for the updates from you, Bill.
Awesome. We appreciate that, guys.
Thank you
Sure
very
thing.
much.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey,
Thanks.
good luck. Have fun.
And
Good luck with the
if I can
business.
do just a quick plug, my ribbon cutting with the chamber is Friday at noon, and I'd love for all of you to attend if you happen to be in the area.
So wait, this
No,
is
My
you may
kids would
not.
love it.
okay.
And she has
you.
and she has a Ferris wheel coming right in the center.
Oh my God.
Nice.
That's
Good luck.
Is that true? No.
Jeez, Bill, go.
He's got to
Thank
come
you
in
very
front of
much.
us, Lisa.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, so for this next one, it's Concord Center for the Visual Arts. And they're coming before us. Their overall project has been approved in the past. These are some revisions to the approval. And full disclosure, I'm on the board of Concord Art, as is Tim Whitney. I've discussed this with Senior Planner Ann Clifford about recusal, because there's really no material conflict in this item at all. I'm not going to recuse. However, I will ask Tim to recuse himself because I know that on that board he did work a lot on this application. So that's what we're going to do. And then voting on this will be Walter, Dennis, Jeff, Kristen, and me. So everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds fine.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, so Kristen first. I see you. Hello.
Hello. Hi, I just want to, I have a cold, so if I sound funny, that's why. Anyways, so my name's Kristen First. I'm the landscape designer for Concord Center for the Visual Arts. This, as Kate said, this project has been before the commission many times and has received multiple approvals, most recently in February. But since that time, there have been several design changes, and so I'm bringing those forward today. would it be helpful if I shared my screen? Is that a good way to do this?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, so, okay. Share. Sorry. I'll do that. And I'll do that. Oh, can I do two or just one? I'll just do one, I guess. Okay. All right, I'll start with this. Okay. So this is a plan of the property, just to orient you. This is Lexington Road at the bottom. The main historic building is right here where my cursor is. And the new art barn is back here. The first thing we're seeking your approval for is for a proposed new fence right here along the west side of the property. We're requesting a approval for approximately 40-foot long, 6-foot tall vertical board fence that will replace an existing 4-foot tall black chain link fence. Previously, in this area, there had been this black chain link fence, and there had also been a dense planting of evergreen shrubs. This sort of buffer between the two properties, this property to the west and the yard there, is really important to the center because it provides both a visual and acoustical buffer to this space and between the properties. And this space is really a public garden space. So in the redesign of the landscape and the construction of this new classroom building, we had to redesign the stormwater plan for the property. And in the redesign, we have to build a retention basin right here. This retention basin makes it very difficult for us to once again plant any sort of dense evergreen planting between the two properties. There are very few, other than very large trees that are evergreen that can sustain that kind of water. So we are proposing instead, as I said, this 6-foot tall board fence. It begins where the existing fence begins, which is behind this rear corner of the historic building. So it begins behind the building. Additionally, we are proposing as part of this that we will do a shrub planting right here between the road and this first post of the proposed fence. And so I have another image to share with you. I'm sorry, I'm not so good at this Zoom thing. So, okay. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Stop sharing, and then I'll share. Sorry. Okay. Share. Okay. So this image here shows the existing hedge planting here. Actually, the owner to the west removed all those shrubs and has planted some new shrubs here that don't provide any screening. So this is sort of the existing conditions. This is what it looked like before. There is a chain link fence in here and you can't see it because of the planting. And again, here, this is looking at this back edge here. You can't see any fence because of the planting. This is the type of fence we're proposing. Again, it's 6 feet tall. This is a photograph from the fabricator of the type of fence we're talking about. It would be constructed, it would be longer, they'd be 8-foot long sections. It would be painted a dark gray color similar to this, but it will be a color that will match the new art barn. That color has been approved by the HDC. And instead of these caps, we're proposing just chamfered tops to the post to keep it very simple. And then this is just an illustration to show, if you can see, there's a dark foot. That's the bottom of the proposed new post. This is, what a hedge might look like with the planting. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about for that fence. So that's the first item. Would you like me to continue, or do you want to discuss this item?
I think it's best to continue to sort of
Okay.
go through all of it. Yeah.
All right. Sorry to keep switching screens. I don't know how best to do this, so I'll just keep doing this.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. The next small change is as a result of wanting to increase the buffer planting along this edge between Concord Art and the neighbor, and to screen this fence. We're just requesting, this is a proposed new walkway from the driveway to the new handicap ramp in back. And we're just moving that walkway over by 1 foot to the west to allow more space here for us to increase the size of the planting here. So that's just a very small change. Okay, the next bigger change is here. This is the mechanical area. Once again, I'll just orient you. This is the new entrance to the new classroom building, and this is the proposed new walkway. Previously, we had requested a 4-foot tall fence to go around the mechanical area to provide screening. There's been further development on the HVAC system, and we are now including heat pumps in that system. And as you know, they're quite high. So with that in mind, we are proposing, again, a 6-foot tall fence in this area rather than a 4-foot tall fence. This fence is not like the previous fence, and I'll show you what that looks like now. Okay. This is what we're proposing for this fence. It is 6 foot tall, but the top has approximately a 1 foot, it's a little taller than 1 feet. The fabricator has to determine the final size, but it's about 1 foot tall with vertical posts to provide some transparency there. It also includes a set of double gates here. The previous fence did not. We need this to be able to access our trash barrels and be able to adequately access and service the equipment. The other change is that we are proposing to paint this, or to stain it, the same color as the new classroom building. There are a number of reasons for this, but one of them is it is a new intervention. It's not part of the original architecture, sort of signals that with the color. It also is much better in terms of keeping it looking clean and crisp and nice looking from the street. This is just to show you, we're planning on planting a vine on this fence. And what I wanted to show you is this is just looking at this fence from Lexington Road. So it just bumps out, I think it's 16 or 18 inches off the corner of this of the building here. And because it's the color of the classroom building, it sort of blends in nicely and doesn't detract from the original architecture. Okay, so the last thing that I will discuss, this is just an image showing the previously approved color for the art barn, and that is the color that the fences will be painted. Okay, and then the last item is exterior lighting. Okay. Okay. I need to go to a different drawing for this. Sorry. What is this? Here we go. Okay. All right, can you see this? Okay, so we are putting, rather than doing a revision of the previously approved lighting plan, I'm just presenting a new lighting plan. We've simplified it and reduced the number of light fixtures. We went from a total of 27 light fixtures to 13 light fixtures. These include from Lexington Road, you would see here these figures here. I don't know, these little hexagons. These are these flush in-grade light fixtures that just will illuminate the walkway here. And we have one here at the front door as well that will just illuminate this bottom step. Okay. And then we are also using these flush mounted light fixtures on the ramp here and on the patio here, just to provide clear, an illuminated path for the handicap ramp that will lead people to this accessible entrance. The other thing, to continue along this walkway, when you get back here, we're proposing some post fixtures, which I will show you. We're reducing the number, and these fixtures are a little taller. They're a little sturdier. And really with this most recent snowstorms and everything, we've really decided we need something a little sturdier that's not going to get knocked around as much. These particular fixtures do a really good job at illuminating lengthwise rather than casting light forward, so we can space them a little farther apart, and we don't need as many fixtures to provide the same amount of illumination. So we have 4 of them, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And then there's just a tiny little fixture on this post here to illuminate this the proposed signage, which has previously been approved. So I'll just show you all of these. Okay, so this is the proposed taller path light. This would be in a bronze finish, a painted bronze finish. It is, we're proposing 24 inches tall, and it's quite a small fixture. As you can see, it's only 4.5 inches in length, and depth is 3.3 inches, quite small. And then you've already approved these path lights. These are brass path lights that are set in grade. They're very subtle. And then this is the little cap illumination for the signage. All of these will be, this will be brass, and everything else will be bronze colored. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Kristen. Let's see. Let me stop my Walter imitation. Okay, there we are.
Hey.
Hey. So let's see. The neighbor to what direction is that? Well, West Zuritius. He's aware of the fence, right? I think he's in favor of it.
Yes.
Okay, because yeah, we'd just like to know that neighbors know what's going on. Okay. Questions from the commission. You can remember there was the fence, there was the walkway, the mechanical fencing, and the landscape lighting plan, which has been reduced by half from the last thing we approved. So that's great.
I think my only concern is when you're looking at the fencing that is for the HVAC system, it's actually hiding all the windows behind it, including in the historic part of the house. And I don't have a solution for that, but it seems to be problematic to me.
If I am not mistaken, those windows in that section of the building are not historic. That kitchen is a new kitchen. And the HVAC system, some of those units are sitting in front of those windows. There was a lot of work to move those and get all of that to fit.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they're sitting in front of the windows, several of them. Yeah.
Well, I do like the vine climbing it.
Yeah. That will be deciduous, but it will be quite nice when it is in bloom.
So Kristen, the mech fence, it's 6 feet tall, and then the whatever baffling on top of it is another foot.
Yeah.
No,
That's
the
included.
total is 6
Okay.
feet.
Okay. Good.
Sorry, there are too many Kristens in this meeting.
Well,
Kate,
try being a Kate in Concord.
Or anywhere.
Kate, I'm surprised you didn't make it out of stacked wood.
Hey, don't hate me, Dennis. Don't
That
throw
took
your
me a
basket
second.
into HTC, making me sad. All
Very,
right?
very artsy. That would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Oh yeah, just like the colonists do. I was told. Mhm. Okay. Let's see. Mechanical fencing, lighting, walkway. Any other questions from commissioners?
No.
Jeff, I think you've already seen an application or two from Concord Art, but
Yeah, it seems reasonable and like a good solution to, the lesser of two evils, seeing all this stuff versus not.
The tight site.
Yeah.
All right. Well, commissioners, you can continue to think about any questions. I'll see if anyone in the public, I don't know if there are any neighbors of the organization here, but any questions for Kristen first and Concord Art? Okay, doesn't appear that way. No one's raised their hand. All right, back to the commissioners. If everyone feels like this has been covered thoroughly, we could have a motion.
I move to approve the application from 37 Lexington Road as presented.
Thank you, Dennis. How about a second?
All second, says Walter.
The faceless will play. Okay, let's see. So Kristen Dahlman, that is. Yes. Jeff Young.
Aye.
Dennis Fiore.
Aye.
Keep with it. Walter Clay.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So it's been approved. The latest updates. Maybe this is the last time you come before us, Kristen. But
Now we gotta start building.
yeah. Well, no, thank you for that. That was easy to follow.
Great. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Night. All right. Moving rapidly forth to 52 Bow Street. I was just walking down Bow Street the other day, beloved of the HDC. So let's see, is Chris Manning presenting?
Mickey Jensen's presenting.
Okay, sorry, you're there. All right, sure. And you are on mute, I think, Michael.
All right, I'm Mickey Jensen from Jensen Builders. I'm a contractor for Chris Manning.
Great.
Chris and Terry. Want me to go on?
Okay. So what do
Yep.
yeah, sure. Take it away.
Alright.
What do you have for us?
So we're proposing to, there's 12 non-original windows on his house, and we're proposing to replace them with Windsor Legend HBR double hung windows. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but I've done some work in Acton and they have approvals. The Historic Commission has approved them in Acton. I do have a picture of one of them. Excuse me. I don't know if you can pull that up, but so we're looking to replace the 12 non-original windows majority of them are actually casement, or most of them are casement on in windows and casement side by side, which don't go with the historic district at all. All right, so basically most of the windows are on the left side where the garage is, and where the middle kind of section is there, which has got the arrow. From there over, plus the kitchen window, those are most all casement windows from an addition, I think, back down in the 80s, I think. So we're looking to replace those, and then there's three of them in the back that are replacement windows to look like the original windows, but they're all in rough shape, so they're not actually the original windows there. The rest of the house has all the original windows.
Our goal is to make the house more in line with what it was built with originally.
Okay.
So bringing it up to standard again, getting rid of the casement windows, and then
there's one of them there.
Updating the aluminum windows that are there to a double hung wooden window to be more in line with what is in the rest of the house.
You had a cut sheet for everything but the windows. Do you have a cut sheet for the windows?
Like a quote from like the manufacturer.
Yes, I mean you have the door and you have other and you have the balcony, but you don't.
Well, there's a window if you get to it at some point. One of these pictures has it.
I didn't see it on the list.
Of the new window, Mickey, they're asking.
Yeah,
for.
there's a picture of it, one of the new windows. I took a picture of a house that they're doing. I don't know if you guys drive through West Acton at all. There's a house on the hill being remodeled, and they have the window right there. They have the Windsor windows there that are approved by the historic district in Acton. So that's what we're proposing.
So Michael, I think the question is, do you have a technical sheet from the manufacturer?
Yeah, with the specs, basic tear sheet.
I do have one for another job I'm doing in Acton. If I can figure out how to share the screen, I can show you. Hold on.
And these windows match the windows that are currently. Are you matching them to the old window? Well,
yeah,
they're not old, but anyway, whatever you want to match it to. Is it matched to the replacement windows that are double
existing
building?
Yeah, they're going to be 2/2 from the existing.
Okay.
Just like the existing windows.
And what's the material on all of them?
They're the clad wood that Windsor has. It's clad wood.
I haven't used Windsor windows before, so I'm not familiar with them.
I have the menu up.
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with how to share screens on this. I don't use this too often.
So this is it's aluminum cladding?
It's wood clad. It's wood with clad over it.
Right, but it's aluminum clad. What is the cladding material?
Well, it's kind of like 400 series windows, kind of like they're clad.
That's vinyl, I think, which I've used.
There we go.
Is that a temporary brace there? That raw wood?
So these ones actually came with the trim on. Already have the trim on it, but we'd match I think it's 1x5 trim on the existing house now. We'd match what is there with real wood.
Mm-hmm.
Are the existing windows clad casements?
The ones we want to replace?
Yes.
Yeah, the 200 series. Clad.
And I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out which windows are actually being replaced. I know we have the photographs, but is there a way we can? There's no.
Yeah. So this is what I saw, right? Go down. So all these are pictures of the ones we want to replace.
The same. So the same size, same casing.
There's a picture of every single one of them. If you keep scrolling up, that's one of them. Those are those three there. Those are replacement.
Those are casements.
Those are replacement windows. Yes.
But those aren't casement windows.
No, they're
Those are
not,
double
but
hung.
no, they are, but they're replacement windows. They're not original windows.
So you're replacing those?
Yes,
And they look just like that when you're done?
it will look the same. Yeah, I mean that window looks exactly like the Windsor window that I showed you.
So if you scroll down,
Yeah, scroll down.
is that casing on that casement gonna stay the same, or are you gonna case it
No,
with new
when we do the
casing?
new window, like I said before, I'll case it with, I think it's 1x5 on the original house.
But that will
With a
become a
new-
double hung window.
Yeah, all the casements are going to become double hung windows.
And that's gonna be a 2/2 slender 2/2 double hung
Yes,
with a
we're
new
keeping the
sill.
same opening sizes. We're not going to change any.
So that opening size will be the same? But two
All
over
the opening size we don't plan on changing unless you want us to make them wider.
Mm.
I just didn't want to mess with all the original siding that was there, less as we could.
Yeah, no. You're
Can you
right.
keep showing us the other ones you're going to
You
replace?
go up. So those three. This is a kitchen window. That's a triple casement.
So the
We wanna
casing
make-
comes off.
So what's going to be happened to the triple casement?
What's what?
How's this going to be treated? The triple casement window?
So it'll still be. It's going to be a triple double hung
Okay.
New sill.
with the correct trim on it. That just got I think 908 casing on it. So the correct 1x5 trim that's to match the existing house.
Mhm.
So that's a
Is
kitchen
there an
window.
Is there an existing window on the existing house that sort of has the size casing and historic sill that you could show us that that's what you're matching?
Yeah, I mean, one of these pictures has the existing house. I don't know if we can zoom in on it. That's another casement window. This is a stop on the slider right here. Go up. That's it. We're looking to propose to change that to a 400 series slider.
Will that have a grill pattern in it to match the windows, or are you going to just leave it, you know?
It can be. We're planning on leaving it just open, but we can do 2/2
It might
pattern
look
on that to try
funny.
to match. It
2
looks
over
kind of
2
weird
might
though.
look funny
You
on
show the
that.
Yeah.
manufacturer's sheet.
It's
for
either that or we do like a 15 light.
Right.
Oh.
That slider isn't actually visible from the street because it's behind the gate. It's part of the patio.
I've had dinner on that patio many times. We knew Dick and Stacy Davis pretty well, so.
I do have a picture of the outside if you want to see it.
Sure.
Those are original windows on the left or all along the bottom floor there.
Mhm.
It would be matching any of that trim.
So the casing, the lower window on the right, are you matching that heavy header detail? The top trim or just
Yeah, any window that is going to be single one by itself will match that.
With that header?
looks like it has some unusual heavy trim on the top, the
Yeah.
shadow line.
Yeah, whatever that design is, we'll match that. Unless you guys don't like that.
I don't know. This is one of my favorite houses. I actually like this house a lot, the way it's done.
Mickey, so are all that window we're looking at in the photo in front of us right now, the lower right corner window
Yeah.
with the sill and the header that Tim just pointed out, do others have that on the house? Any other single windows? Because if that's something we want to stipulate, we kind of want to, if it's just that one.
Chris, do you have any other pictures at the other side?
Yep, let me just pull it up.
Okay.
We're just trying to find a good picture here that you can see something.
Well, no, I know it's applicants come and they'll have like 22 pictures and it'll be great. And then we always seem to ask for the one they don't have. And it's
This is the back of the house.
Okay, all right.
So that one, those don't have, both those lower ones don't have the header or the upper one.
Oh,
But
And that upper one is one of the original windows too, because it's in really rough shape.
that one with the cursor.
Yeah.
But that has a storm on it.
They all
do.
They all do. Okay, it's just more visible than the top.
So in fact, that other window was the only one with a header so far that we can see.
That's interesting. Yeah.
No, I don't know. So maybe that was a window that was put in later.
Or it was on the front. They wanted it fancier. Who knows?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of windows here that are been replaced at some point in time that are aluminum on the inside. They could have been 1980, 1960, but the original windows on the first floor, and then the original windows that are on the second floor in the 2 guest rooms. So those are the ones we're really trying to direct and make it look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal is to make this house exactly the way what it always was,
Mm-hmm.
right? We know we're just caretakers of this house for a period of time. So if we can bring it back to what it was, that's kind of our goal in the whole process. And, Terry and I are from Acton. We're moving to Concord when that renovation is done. My parents are there for 35 years. So we're just trying to move closer to my elderly parents at this point. So
you shown us all the windows you're replacing?
I don't think
I
we're.
think we have.
I think we had to go up a little bit more, but I think it was most of them.
Well, I'd like to see all of them because what's over the garage? Are those windows being replaced?
Yeah.
Those are casements too. Yeah.
Can we
If
see
you can
that
bring that,
again?
can we show those pictures again? All right, so I'll go back down. That down a little bit right there. Those are above the garage doors. It's a double casement upstairs.
So that's going to be a double casement up there?
It's an existing double casement now. We're going to do a double
double hung. Right.
Double hung. Every casement will have a double hung instead of the casement.
With a 2/2 to match the existing house.
What I don't, I commend the direction of putting in double hungs and matching existing casings. I just think it's very hard for the committee to know which windows we're talking about and exactly what the final detail is. We kind of get what you're saying, but it would really help us to just go around and photograph every facade as best you can flat and say this window gets replaced and this one stays and this gets new casing, because I don't know how many windows we're talking about. I don't know which elevations we're talking about. I know you were saying you're just replacing all of them, but we need to have a drawing or a photograph that really specifically says this window here is new. It's a new double hung. It gets new casing. It gets a new historic sill. Here's the new historic sill. Here's the casing size. I think we need to be much more. It's just it's confusing for us when we're just getting bits and pieces of photographs. But I think generally
these are all the pictures right here. I don't know how separate you want
them. I'm just saying we need clear documentation. It's confusing. And I'm an architect and I look at this stuff all the time, but I'm just saying it's confusing how many windows we're talking about.
It's not that the number of windows is confusing. It's confusing to know which windows specifically are the ones that are in play here. Yeah. So if I may, the question is about the 12 that are being replaced. They are all non-original to the original house. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you're not replacing any of the windows in the original house?
No original windows, no.
Okay, so that's a help. And Tim, I understand exactly what you're saying. I feel the same way. I mean, one of the other problems here is you were showing us the one window as the template for how the headers and all would be treated on the others, and yet it seems to be the only one of its kind on the original house. So we don't have clarity about that either. So, you're going to take a model from the original house to use for the trim and headers, theoretically, on all the 12 non-original windows, but we aren't clear as a commission, I think, about exactly which window is going to be the model, for doing all those. That's something that we need to know definitively as well.
Well, I was planning on matching the one that faces Bow Street. That's the front of the house, where majority of all of them we want to replace, besides a couple in the back of the house, to match the one that we were looking at with the header on it. Unless you don't want to do that and match the ones in the back that don't have the header. But I was planning on doing the ones in the front with a header.
Well, so this is the front of the house we're looking at right now.
No,
No,
that's actually the front door, but street.
Okay.
Well, this is the front of the house. I mean, the street is on Bow Street. This is Monroe Street that we're
Yeah.
looking at.
Okay. So those aren't the models.
This is Bow Street. The other side is Monroe Street.
Okay, so then you're thinking of this as being the front of the house.
I think it is, but the actual, if you want to say front door, is on Monroe Street, but the street address is this side.
And I should say, we're on your side, right? We're trying to make it clear for us so that we can agree to what it is that you're proposing, I believe.
How many?
Yeah, well,
might
proposing just to
simplify it.
match the original trim on the original house with that header.
You're basically you're going to replace all the casement windows, which from the 80s, and they're they don't match the house. They're ugly, and I think that's great. And you're replacing 3 of the double hungs on that upper sort of bump out that we're
Correct.
looking at right now.
Correct.
Yep.
So are there 9 casement windows you're replacing, and then just those 3 on that bump out?
There's 2 windows in the kitchen that are the same as those ones that you see on the second floor here.
Okay.
Which on the second floor and the bump out, or second floor above the garage?
Second floor on the bump out. So there's 3 of those on that side of the house.
Okay. And 2 in the back, right?
There's 1 in the back in that bedroom, and then 2 in the kitchen.
Okay.
Where is the kitchen here?
Chris, it's actually 3 across in the kitchen. The kitchen was the 3 across that
Yeah.
we saw earlier.
And when you walk up through
That
on the
one.
patio,
Right there.
That
Yep.
one.
And where is that located
house, yeah.
on the house?
That's
can't
That's,
see it
that's
from the
the
street.
context that we don't have.
you can't see it because of the fence. That's below those 3 windows that the upper windows. Those are below to the right, but you can't see it from the street because of the fence.
yeah, it's perpendicular to the wall that's on Bow Street.
Correct.
So it's not really visible.
Okay.
Let's see.
But it seems pretty straightforward.
There's two non-original doors to the left of this kitchen window. There's one of them,
Hmm.
and then one in the back of the house, which you can't see. There's pictures somewhere here that we want to replace with a Simpson model 7042 wood window. That's one of them right there.
And which one is that? Is that near the casement?
That's to the left of the kitchen casement window,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I guess below those the 3 double casements up above.
Mhm.
And then one's behind the house. That one right
That one.
there. It's got a
That's
cat
the
door
one.
in it.
So you can't see any of these from the street, actually.
I
Can't see
agree
either from
with
the street.
Tim. I agree with Tim that we need just clarity of which windows, which doors, where they are, and how they're being replaced. And I
Well,
reiterate his request that like flat on picture of every elevation with an indication of which windows are being replaced, what the casing is going to be, etc. And that we also need a cut sheet for the windows that are going to be used. Because if I'm correct, we haven't really used those windows before or approved those windows.
not, no. I
Not that I
can't,
remember. No.
I can't remember. Yeah,
We,
Dennis.
we should educate ourselves about it.
Mhm. Yeah. Jeff or Tim have said they've used them. Jeff, did you say you come up?
I've never used these, no, but you know, and I get exactly what they're doing, and it's probably, you know, going to be fine, but it just seems like it's a little too much latitude to just say go
Exactly.
ahead and do it. We need to see like an actual elevation with the drawing of how, and the window, you know, the profile of the window and so forth to see that it works.
You know, well, even if Walter speaking, even if you go back to that picture with the heat pump, looks like there's not room for a 5-inch trim on that to me, say, which means that that's an exception to the 5-inch trim that's being used everywhere else, right? So you're not going to get a 5-inch piece of trim to the left of this as we're facing this.
This
picture.
slide you actually is in the back corner. You can't see it all from any street. So this is where we proposed the balcony on there just to run it by you guys, but it's actually not even
visible
from any street.
Okay.
And you can get
I think
1x5
that'll-
trim on the left side.
Yeah, but that's part of the overall confusion is we don't know that until you tell us. And I think one thing that is important here that hasn't been stated is having a proper paper trail, a picture trail of what the project actually is. It's fine to go back and forth and go, oh yeah, I understand what you're saying about that window that was around on the back and all of it. But that doesn't provide if somebody comes and takes a look at this a year from now, if they have a picture, if we had the pictures of the sides of the house, clearly pointing to the things that are being replaced and modified, then we're all set. If the trail for that is just the the audio of, and not the video, since I'm not on video, but just the audio of talking about it, that's not, it doesn't pass muster for being able to revisit and take a look at all this.
I think also, if something is truly not visible from a public right of way, you have every right to do kind of whatever you want. So you should document what is not visible and explain to us why it's not visible with a photograph or a site plan or both. And that's fine. You know, then we'll take a different approach on that. But we can't tell what's visible or not visible looking at these photographs, or there's no site plan. So,
well, I have exterior pictures. You can see from all sides of the house.
Yeah, but
on here,
this is not. We need better documentation. I don't know how else we can say it.
Well, a site plan, frankly, is part of the application, right? Isn't that a requirement for the application for any of these things?
Yes.
Technically, and the reason being that it clarifies all this. So, Ken, as I said before, we're on your side. We're just trying to make sure that everything lines up and that we're all on the same page.
But just to clarify, if it's not visible from the street, then should it not be part of this application?
Technically, it doesn't have to be.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
if it's not visible from a public right of way, you can take it off take it off your submission.
Okay.
But so, for similar scale projects, where a house like this is having, a lot of its windows replaced, to give you an idea, what we might see is, someone might, as Tim is saying, sort of each elevation, stand at one side, the east side, take a picture, and people would sort of mark, this window being replaced, this window being not replaced, this window staying, kind of maybe put measurements about what the finished product will be on each side, on each sort of plane where there's windows. So we can see the whole thing in context. It is helpful to have, individual pictures of the windows because they get, we can see a little closer, but we do kind of need to take in the whole, elevation context into consideration. So it's actually not that tough to do. I mean, you've already provided a lot of photos, but we need them from sort of each side to kind of get the whole picture. And then along with that, as we've said, tear sheets or cut sheets, whatever you want to call them, on the actual window models. We look at a lot of these, so we can kind of visualize them, or use.
Do you have a favorite double hung window that you like to use?
Well, like Kristen said, we need to educate ourselves, or maybe this is one of them. We do tend to see, what are we seeing a lot of? Anderson 400, Marvin a little less lately. I feel like several years ago we saw a lot more Marvin. And then what do we see once a year? Maybe proper Bostonian ones. I don't know. And then a few others.
There's there is the application for a clad window. Our preference is always a painted wood window. But I think given the age of this house and the windows you're replacing that are already clad, I don't think you'd get much pushback from us on a clad wood Anderson window per se. I don't think we're, as Walter said, we're objecting to what you're up to. It's just not clear what you're doing, and we need to have absolute clarity. We are on your side. It may not sound like it, but we are. But we need to know. It's just not clear, and we need more clarity.
We have elevation pictures circling every one we want to do. Does it include the ones in the front where the fence is and you can't see from the street?
I mean, I don't think it would hurt to indicate that, like these aren't visible, or these aren't visible, or these are visible, but they're not being changed, or, any notation, and then we can go, oh, okay,
So the bottom is not visible, but the top is, because
but if you're screening it with a fence on a public right of way, that's a gray area that.
Right, as long as the fence stays, it's not visible.
Yeah, I mean that's saying the fence is going to stay, and then so. But if it's something that's on the backside and not visible,
no, the front, it's where the fence is, and they want to replace them with their casements anyways. But I'm just asking in general, if you can't see them, do it have to be on the application? But might as well put them on.
Yeah, there are two windows here.
You're headed in a good direction of just putting double hungs and replacement of casements and a wider casing. We totally endorse that. It's great. That's what we want. It's just we need to say there's 16 windows and they're here, and here, and these ones are not visible. And you can tell us what you're doing back there if you want, but it's much less concern for us on the non-visible sides.
Okay, so
if you're really putting in that heavy piece of trim, that one window that you're modeling, which I question whether you really want to do that, but just tell us exactly what casing you want to put on there. And the 1x5 sounds correct. Historic sill sounds correct. What size historic sill? What are the dimensions for that? It's all sounds good.
Well, can we comment on one thing? I think to maybe help Mickey with something, and that is, I'll go back to that window that had the pronounced header, and it looks like maybe that was one of the only ones. And so Mickey said, we'll leave it, we'll take it out, we'll put it on the other ones, which is great, but it can be unclear sometimes to applicants that we don't necessarily endorse adding elements. And would you guys consider that to be an added element? If they were going to put a header on all the similar
When you say you guys, you mean us? Or
you guys. I mean, everybody but you, Tim. No, actually, yes, sorry. I mean, commissioners. Sorry about that. Yes.
I would, introducing a non-historic.
Yeah. So because I thought
we know that that's not historic, and that's the question.
Well, the difference is restoring original material that has been taken off, perhaps in other places, as opposed to taking a cue from one part of it and replicating it.
So, well, I'm just trying to help sort of give.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, I think that heavy detailed header on the existing house is not what you want to do on this 1980s edition,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the 1980s edition needs to be a bit subservient to the main house that has heavier detailing and cornice and whatever else. So, but the 1x5 and historic sill is a simpler, that seems more appropriate to the 80s edition, as Michael was describing originally.
Mm-hmm.
May I make a suggestion, says Walter, who's audio only?
Yes, if it helps clarify and streamline
Well,
things.
I think it might help clarify, which is, it seems to me pretty obvious that we're not going to approve this at this point without having more information. So should we just figure out exactly what we need to be able to proceed and even perhaps schedule a site visit?
Yes, I think that would be helpful to the applicant but I
Yeah,
think,
I originally wanted to schedule a site visit before we even had the meeting, but that
you
didn't happen.
that usually does. Yeah, we don't usually do
Yeah.
that. Wasn't anything you did wrong. No,
It would definitely help clarify the situation.
I was trying to ask what windows you've approved before, and they wouldn't tell me this. Like, oh, come over what you want to do.
yeah,
we're not specific to what we want to do. It's if you find with a 400 series, we'll just go with the 400 series.
No, I think we're excited about learning something about a new window that may be exactly the ticket for this. At least I am.
yeah,
I agree.
So let's schedule a site visit. I mean, we need to make a motion for this. I need to open it to the public first, but I think I don't know if there's much else to explain beyond, what we were saying about sort of getting each side of the house photographed in context and just kind of marking each window and denoting its fate, so we can get the whole picture. But first, let's see if any members of the public have any questions or comments.
You want to talk about any of the other stuff on the application?
Oh, gosh.
Or-
Yes, we do. Thanks. Sorry, this is just going right ahead. All right, because you've got gutters. Oh yeah, metal balcony. Oh gosh, yeah. Please keep
Well,
going.
the metal balcony, that's going to be off because that's in that back slider, which you can't see from the street. We just had it on there just for discussion.
Just a courtesy.
You
Yeah,
can't see how can you not see a balcony? It's just the way
it's right behind. It's directly behind the garage doors. Behind there,
Oh, okay.
you can't see it at all.
All right. So yeah, you can take that off.
All right, and the gutters, you approved the neighbors has the fiberglass G75 model gutters. That's what he's looking to replace them with.
Okay, which house was that? What's the address?
Chris, which one was that?
Terry, you may be able to find it. It's next door, across the street
Monroe
on Bow Street.
Place? Oh,
I'm
on
sorry?
Bow?
On Bow,
So
yeah.
it's on Bow?
It's Wendy's
across-
house on Bow Street.
Yeah. I can't think of it.
Is it Wendy Ravelli?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
42 Bow.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? This
This is just the brochure of it. If you scroll down, it will show the G75 profile.
Okay. Oh, manufactured in Pembroke, Massachusetts. Look at that. Okay, G75. There it is. Lower left.
Yeah.
This is painted.
It's fiberglass.
So you can order the color. It comes custom colored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Custom colored gel coat.
Who said that?
I did.
Match,
Right above.
Good voice over here.
is this to match the trim color?
Yeah, I think the match the trim color. Yeah,
They're
they want to
paintable.
replace.
They are paintable.
Yeah.
That's the
And
other thing. They want to repaint the house to match the existing yellow that's there now and the white
And that's
trim.
the wood gutter profile, the G75.
Yeah.
So it'll look like wood from below.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think they're great.
Walter is going to ask, have you considered going to a G100?
We just picked G75 because that's what you approved across the street.
Oh, we did have this discussion though, right? There, because Walter, were you the one making up this just kind of almost like of a public
Talking
service
about how
announcement
if you
for
don't
Rider
make them
One?
as big as, you got to make them as big as you can these days, is my take.
Because it's sort of the more torrential downpours we've been subjected to.
Yeah, it's just getting worse. It's one of those things. Downspouts and gutters, I think, are going to be more and more.
So the G100 and the G90 are the same, I think 5.25 width.
Mm-hmm. The 100's deeper. By
Yeah.
2 inches.
Yeah, and the 100 has that what do you call it at the bottom, like that little.
Detail that the G75 has.
Yes, thank you.
But
yeah,
I think
I'm just being a guy and saying, in my experience, that if the gutters aren't big, and Jeff, this probably is something that you'll run into or have.
Well,
if you can fit them.
I just watched This Old House episode with these gutters. So they actually, the G75 will have more volume than a standard wood gutter because it's not as thick, the material.
Right.
So it is going to carry more water, a lot more than, say, the regular wood gutter would that size.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the G100s, that would look kind of clunky on that house. It wouldn't match, I don't think, the existing ones that are there. But I don't know. I haven't measured them myself, so.
Yeah, we were taking the recommendation of the gutter company that installed as the direct replacement to the wooden gutters that are there today. Was the G75.
Okay.
I don't think water volume is really our purview.
No, but
I'll shut up.
I'm addressing Walter's question.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's see. Metal balcony, no. Replace gutters, that's what you've got here. Repaint siding, you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Same color.
Same color, same trim.
Oh.
Color too.
Okay, yeah, that's that. And then we've gone over the 2 doors, the sliding door. Okay, so we've gone over everything.
So that's a slider, that 400 series.
Oh, okay.
But would you want grills on that? When you guys were talking about that?
Oh,
the current door doesn't have grills?
Does not.
No.
I just suggest, in the interest of helping the client here, I would say we should not be advising on adding grills to this door.
Yeah, I think if it's already a modern, element.
I would agree. It's sort of replacement in kind, right?
Yeah, there's no need to.
And once again, that is a door that's behind the fence that you can't see.
I was about to say that you can't see it.
Yeah.
So.
But if it's hidden behind a fence and you can't see it, then we're going to have to say, okay, we can never take that fence down. I don't think you want to go there.
He wants to replace it anyways.
So I think you should, if it's hidden by a fence, I don't, and it's on a public right of way, I think you have to treat it as a visible. I don't think you want to have a fence as part of the requirement.
Okay. Can you scroll down to the single door, the Simpson door? Oh, sorry.
And the Simpson, it's a wood door. Simpson.
Yeah. So that's similar to the front door and the side porch door.
Simpsons are high quality wood doors, so.
Okay.
So you'd be fine with those?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, great.
I like them too.
Said that. Okay. All right. Does that cover it all now?
Yep. No, actually, I want to bring up one thing that's not on the list. For a driveway, to repave the driveway, is that if just to repave it exactly how it is, do we need approval for that?
Oh, well, oh boy. Repaving. Tim.
In kind?
Yeah, but also even in kind, is this subject yet to the town impervious something or other bylaw? Where's Ann Clifford? Who knows this? I don't.
but again, that's not us to sort out.
Yeah, there's a new
That's fine.
bylaw
You can
about
go
that.
through the town for the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't think that. Wait, driveways are us.
Yeah, but impervious
Oh, that.
calculations is not
Yes.
anything we're involved with.
So what's the material that's there right now?
Asphalt,
And you would be,
putting asphalt back on, yeah.
so yeah, that should go on the application. And we need to see a picture of the current
Sure.
thing,
Okay.
you know, but, okay, so, I think, we're gonna have to continue. We can have a site visit and then get this all wrapped up at the next meeting. Oh wait, so now I'm gonna go to the public again. I think commissioners have reviewed this sufficiently. Anyone in the public have any questions? No, no one has their hand raised in Zoom. Okay. So commissioners, could I have a motion for
Hey,
this?
Kate, excuse
Yes,
me.
yes.
I just want to ask the contractor and the owner here, just, are you clear with what we're asking? We're asking, so our job is not here to confuse you. We're trying to help. And I just want to be sure you know what we're looking for. And if not, we can continue the conversation. So just checking that, you know, because we're about to vote. Once we vote.
Yeah,
That's the
you want
discussion.
clear elevation plans circling the windows that indoors you want to be replaced.
And
then showing
the window cut and the
Yeah.
casing size.
the exact
Sill
casing size,
size.
what size sill.
I think we're clear on what you're looking for.
Okay, I just
I
checking.
think with the site visit on top of it, I think it'll be really clear all of a sudden.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Excuse me, Kate.
Oh, quite all right. Okay, so, I am seeking a motion from a commissioner.
I've never put a motion, but I can try.
You had that look on your face, I could tell, Jeff.
I thought you were going to call on me. So I moved to,
by the way, you have done motions. You've moved to adjourn at least twice. That was set up specifically for practice for you.
that was my self-interest. No, I'm kidding.
You're just the guy to do it since you know this house.
Well, I moved to continue. It's 52 Bow Street for further review, and we'll schedule a site visit.
Mm-hmm. And I'll look for a second.
I look for a second.
I'd look for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Do we have a second?
All right.
Tim, thanks. All right. And for voting here, we've got Walter.
Aye.
Jeff.
Aye.
Tim.
Aye, and just to clarify, that site visit is 3 weeks from today, correct?
Correct.
Yes, that's the April 15th.
The morning,
meeting, I think?
it's the morning before the next meeting, same
Yes.
day.
Oh, right. Yes, I'm sorry. Right, because the homeowners are new to this. The site
8
visit will
o'clock.
be at 8 o'clock at your house. Just someone has to be there. You don't all have to be there. And we come and we just look around and we don't deliberate or anything like that. And then we convene again that evening at 7 o'clock. Does that
And
sound
what is
okay?
that date?
I believe the next meeting is April 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Does that sound right?
Yes, that's right, Kate.
All right.
Yep, April 15th.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you.
So yes, does that sound okay, Terry?
Yes,
Right,
thank
like
you.
I said, just one of you has to be there. You don't have to let us in. You don't have to give us coffee. You don't have to do anything like that. And it always really helps just pull everything together. It's amazing what 3D can do.
Sure.
So great. Thank you for pointing that out, Tim. Okay, and then I am an I. So that has passed, and we will see you in 3 weeks, and look forward to helping you get this moving.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Sure,
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Al. Thanks a lot. Okay, great. Moving on, I think it's Joanna Boynton is next. Is that correct? 83 Monument, very exciting. Joanna,
Thank
have you
you.
lasted? There you are. Hello, good evening.
I lasted, you lasted. Nothing like being last on the agenda, right?
At least you don't have to be in the room anymore, right? You can
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, so I'll be as efficient as I can to help. But Joanna Boynton, I live at 72 Chestnut Street. I'm here on this Zoom with also my partner Joel Bissell, who will be he's our general contractor and my partner and in charge of day-to-day stuff. So if there are aspects and questions he can around that he can answer. And Elise Stone, our architect, she's also on. So we hope to be able to answer a thorough host of questions if you have them. And also thank you to all of you. I certainly have served on town committees, and your volunteer hours and giving to this town, and certainly the historic aspects of this town is super appreciated, especially by me. So I know the time commitment, and now it's getting towards 9, and I understand. So hopefully we can be clear and helpful, and we can start the wonderful process of 83 Monument Street. A little background: we bought 83 Monument Street last summer, and we've been kind of working on our plans and approvals. We just got the NRC approval from the conservation. We have wetlands in the back for the plan that we're going to present tonight, and where it is located. 83 Monument was built in 1868. The farthest back I could find was Charlie Baker, who owned the house since 1955. He is a peer of my father-in-law, and he, I think, was born in the house and then likewise grew up as a grown-up there and died last summer in the house. So a long time with him and his family in that house. I know the work that's been done has been not roughly, I went to the building department and it's exactly 1974. They applied for a garage in the back and a platform sort of deck that would connect the house to the garage that's back there. In 92, they were then approved to take down the deck and put a hip roof on the garage, and they did that. And then in 2001 they applied and were approved for a new roof on the house and repair of the dormers. And as far as I can tell, that's the only work that has been done since certainly 1955. So for decades there is a lot of deferred maintenance that needs to be taken care of. I also checked in with the special collections at the library to see if they had anything, and it was very little, sadly, because obviously it's been in the town for a long time and the same family. So what we're going to show tonight is what we believe is really in the best interest of the house. It's got good bones, and obviously being in the historic district deserves careful, respectful attention. What we'd like to do is address the deferred maintenance of the whole house and also restore this house to its sort of original sort of life. It's been neglected for quite a while. So the first priority is the original house. And so in the plans, I can't see if there's is a screen sharing going on or if I'm in charge, but let me just, this is sort of high level, so I'll just finish quickly. The first priority is sort of just to restore and maintain what you see there is the original house. And then, and that's everything from roof, siding, windows, porch, everything. I mean, you will see it. You see the pictures, you've seen the application. It's the intention is to just give a new life to what you see there. And the second piece that we're proposing is actually a new 2-story addition in the back of the house. The addition is designed, to be lower and narrower and less visible from the street, and allow for the original house to really be the main building and what you see on Monument Street. The new garage will be almost in the same place, and I said it's moved back a little, but basically it's under this 2-story addition that would involve just giving for a kitchen and family room and then a master bedroom above. So that's broad strokes. I would be happy to hear from you. What's the best way to approach this? I know it's going to be a process, and we're excited just to, get started in working towards what this would look like and what you all will support. So I'm not sure if I go into all the details or if this is a time to talk further about a site plan. I don't, this is a lot in one fell swoop, obviously. So you tell me. I'm happy to walk through this edition and the materials. I know we've sent them all in. And like I said, Joel and Elise are here to help answer questions. So help me make this, worth your while and efficient.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. So I see here like you said, there's a lot. So maybe the best, we know there'll be a site visit for the project this size, but particularly since you're here and Joel's here and Elise is here, let's pull up the plans and just, kind of walk us through this is, and just, we might have a question or two along the way, but I think usually it works best for projects of this scope that you give us the whole enchilada at once.
Okay. And will Kim bring them up and share, or do you want me to share from my computer?
Joanna, you can share if you can.
I think I can. I'm going to go with the plans. Let me get them up and share. And oh, I think I can. Hold on. I've got a lot of things that you might ask about, so I'm scrolling through this. All right.
I mean, while you're doing that, the commissioners, if you looked at the agenda, there is a bit of a comprehensive list of, demolish garage and screen porch, construct a new 2-story rear addition with new garage, replace siding, trim, roof, doors, windows, and shutters, and install a driveway, patio, stone wall, and picket fence. Just as a little warm up.
Just a little. All right, let me try. I'm doing this. I'm hoping I get the right thing. Well, Kim, I don't know if you have it.
I can pull it up, Joanna.
Yeah,
can help, yeah.
might be just easier.
Yep.
Sorry, I have them on and open, and I'm just trying to find the right thing, but it might be easier if Kim
What would
does
you
it.
like me to share first?
Just the house plans
Floor
would be
plans,
great. Yeah.
Okay.
And Lisa, you're on. I don't know if you would be helpful in these plans, or do you want me to bumble through this?
This is
Yes.
Joel Thistle too. If you scroll down, there should be the elevations of the exterior. Some of the floor plans. I'm not sure if you'll have any questions. If you want to start to scroll down one more time, it should be the front elevation. So that is the basically exactly how the front of the house looks now. So we're looking to replace those 6 windows with Anderson 400 Woodwright windows. We wanted to replace the siding, replace the trim, just because it's lived its life, and just to be able to pass it on to our customers. Would rather have it all new. If you'd like to go back up, we can look at the side elevation. So the main house now, it looks exactly the same as it does, just replacing in kind. And then we have the addition with garage below. Also, we have in this one, you can see we have a stone wall with patio. This site's really tight. The driveway's up against that. And that patio actually kind of serves as the only outdoor space for whoever is going to take this. In the back, it goes down a big hill into wetlands. So we wanted to give them some area to be on a flat surface to grill, maybe have a table out there. Some place to enjoy the outdoors. I think if you scroll down again a little further, will be the other elevation side. So the only thing we're trying to have approved on this in the main house is we would like to replace the single window with double windows. it's something, it's really just aesthetically pleasing on the inside. We have a dining room that it would look nice. But other than that, no other changes to the main house besides those 2 windows.
Which windows are they here?
It's a 2 double on the right-hand side. The right-hand side is the front of the house. So there's 2 doubles that are right now would be single windows.
Okay.
Much like the ones to the right of the doubles.
Correct. Yeah.
Again, what's the age of the windows in the house that you're replacing?
We couldn't find anything to really date them other than they're really old. Yeah, they weren't replaced in the 1974 work.
They were not replaced.
Not replaced in 1974. That we could not that it was on the build. It was nothing in the building plans.
So why are you replacing them?
They are not functional, like as far as opening, closing. They're very drafty. We'd like to be able to hand over a product to the new homeowner that is we're able to warranty, that is efficient. We'll have to bring this house up to the codes of today on the inside. So we're just really, I mean, obviously, like we want to be able to warranty them and have them be very functional to the new homeowner. And they've reached the end of their life. If you were to try to operate them, to try to get them to work, they look and feel like they want to fall apart pretty easily.
Structurally, or just weights and chases and the like?
Structurally, I mean, if you look at the wear of the mullions between the glass, they've lost a lot of their size over the years. I would say they're from their original size, we'll say of like 1.25 inches, they're all kind of withered away to more of like 1 inch or so, barely kind of hanging on. I would think if anything, they would have to be replaced in kind, but that seems to be something that would be a little bit uncost productive.
Yeah, well, we're kind of against replacing windows just for the sake of replacing them, and we really would like a window restorer to take a look at the windows to see if they can be restored and whether they're so deteriorated they need a replacement. Particularly now that we know that these may be original windows to the house. I think it's very important that they be looked at.
Okay. If you have a certain one that you guys have used in the past or like, we're certainly open. I think I did ask Ann, but I don't think there was someone that she knew, but we'll certainly look into it.
Was that
There
recently,
is a
Joe?
list on
Yeah,
the
because
site.
was that recently that you had asked Dan? Because I feel like we got a couple of names in the past year or so.
It was. I mean, I went over a lot of stuff with Ann, so
All right.
but I'll reach out to her again.
Yeah, and I could maybe they didn't work out. I mean, so that's why she didn't mention it. Anyway, sorry, please continue.
So those are the elevations. I think some of our thought process on the way the addition was put on was to try to keep it, if you go maybe scroll back up to the front elevation, to try to keep things buttoned behind the main house so that, the looks from Monument Street kind of remain the same, at least from the front. And basically just trying to keep things proportionate as it comes down the hill in the back and meet some of the architecture of the street. There's a house to our left facing that is very similar in design to what we're proposing.
Hi, hi, Elise Stone, 288 Old Marlborough Road, and I'm the architect on this job. I just want to point out in the front elevation, it's a little deceptive. You see the thing on the left. The left wall there is where the existing garage ends now, that you see set behind the house. And that's about, that's a good deal back. Hard to get it on this kind of flat drawing. But, I just wanted to point out a few other things. We tried I think if we could scroll down to the rear elevation, because I think in this one, trying to drop, as the additions go back, trying to drop the roof lines, trying to step them back at points so they weren't just all flat as you went across. Putting the gable on just to also break up the roof line so it didn't feel quite so long. So those were just some of the elements we tried to use. You see the stone wall. I mean, it's fairly tall. That is basically, the garage is right there, and we're lowering the garage a little bit, maybe, I don't know, Joel, how much? 9 inches, something
Yeah,
like
we're
that.
looking to get, like, if we can get a foot, we could.
But it might be a little less, yeah.
Right.
And that's just to get the proper height in the garage. Because we're kind of set with the floor level on the first floor to line it up with what is there existing.
It might be worth just seeing the existing elevations and plans so people know what's there now.
Yep, I think, yeah.
It should be on there. Yep, so the front elevation remains really unscathed. It all is, we're going to match, and we're really just looking to repair. Same with the side elevation, that remains the same on the right side. And the left elevation, you can see it's the left 2 windows that would become double.
And there should be another elevation here that shows how the existing garage, the house and the garage on the side. Is it?
Yeah, Kim, I'm sorry, that's a separate plan that it just has one copy of.
Yeah.
So people can see the current side of the house.
Okay.
With the garage.
Yeah,
The right side.
as it relates to the garage, the current garage.
Keep scrolling down if I see it yet.
Did we get that? No.
We did.
I did send it in.
Yeah, I sent it in on an email.
No, I don't think I got that.
Here we go. I might be
Let me
able to
see.
do it.
Let's see. I don't think I got that, Joanna. Sorry.
Let me see if, yep. Let's try this. I have it on my screen. Now I just have to master the sharing of it.
Elise, do you have that?
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try this.
There was the plot plan on there too, so if you want to look at that, we could talk about
I can pull that up.
yeah. Yeah, scroll down some more. Yeah.
Whoa.
If you want to enlarge it to
Is that good?
maybe if you can enlarge it a little bit more, it might
Sure.
oh, there you go.
Did I make it work?
Yep. So this is the right side elevation as is now.
Sorry, Kim, to override, but I was trying to. Anyway, that is the existing. So you can see the garage, and what they're talking about is lowering it a few inches, and it pushes back just a few feet, right, Joel, to where NRC has approved where it can go. And so the building goes back over top.
And the first floor really kind of builds over the garage now as is. Like it would, what you see now as like the roof line is right about the height of the first floor of the main building. We're looking to lower over there. It's kind of out of sight but we're looking to lower the garage just to get the proper head height inside the garage for the doors.
Yeah, it is off by about 8 inches plus or minus. You could kind of see that
Mhm.
on the drawing. So that's why it really does have to be lowered.
If there's no questions on this, then we could move to that plot plan.
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to go back to elevations?
The plot plan. You had it up for a second.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks, Ken.
So if you might be able to zoom in a little bit more, it might be helpful. So you can see the existing building with the addition and garage behind it. In lightly illustrated underneath the dark lines is the existing. Our garage is pretty much on the same footprint. It's just going a foot further towards the back. And then the addition in between is taking the place of a deck and a porch, and then a set of stairs leading down to the detached garage. And then you can see the patio area with the stone wall, proposed driveway. We are proposing a paved driveway, and we have done a mitigation plan. We also have the patio, whereas we have the proposed area to hang out. You can kind of see that there is really no other area to be outside of this property. And then we also have a proposed parking area towards the street. That should help with deliveries and just not getting stuck down this driveway. This driveway does drop down a good 5-6 feet as you come down the hill.
So Joel, there's a 2-foot retaining wall on the north side of the drive, right? That's a new wall, I assume.
There is. I did ask for that to be taken out. I do think that we are able to not have to have that. There was some talk with the civil engineers. They thought that we might need a retaining wall in that area. I don't think we do. So I would think we would take that out. I'll have them update this plot plan.
So the big retaining wall is the one that looks like it's got stone veneer on it that it's on the left side of the driveway as you drive in, correct?
Correct. It would be a fieldstone veneer with a white picket fence on top. Kind of needed for safety. I think you guys saw the height of the wall towards the garage side. Aesthetically, we also like the look and see it around town a lot.
Mm-hmm.
By the front, we'll say, when you're looking at it from the street, you'll only see about 2 feet or so of stone wall and maybe 30 inches of fence. It'll also serve as a little bit of privacy for that patio area.
Good. And you said this was a paved driveway proposed, but it says gravel drive there?
Yes. There's an existing gravel drive that he's got labeled there, but it's kind of beneath it. But this is a proposed paved driveway, which we were most of it's in the 50 foot of the wetlands, and we did pretty close.
You're right up to the very edge of the wetlands.
Right.
No build zone, right?
Right.
So,
We're within 19
an inch off?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just about.
Yes.
And NRC is okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We also proposed like a water retention system in the driveway. It's kind of what you can kind of see in the middle.
And the Coltex and the like.
Yep.
To do that.
So
Yeah, the expectation is to collect all the water into this drain.
Yeah, it's a dry well to catch all the roof water and the driveway. The driveway with the amount of pitch it has, it's going to be coming down pretty fast. So we're looking to maintain it there, collect it, and then disperse it underneath it.
What are you going to do about black ice?
Ice melt. I can propose.
Avoid it.
Black ice, not ice melt.
Yeah, I can.
6 foot dip on a tight drive with.
It's about an 8% grade. It is not ideal, but it is. This is a tight lot. We barely have enough room to back out of that garage, but we should be able to make it work.
We go back to
luckily we have a lot of southern skies, so there is some good light there.
Can we go back to the elevations or plan and elevations? Yeah, proposed elevations, I guess.
Yeah, as you scroll, I think you scroll up, but
there we go.
Yeah.
So, this is a substantial addition to a very sort of simple, symmetrical, blocky, historic house. And I commend the thoroughness of the presentation, and the introduction I thought was great by Joanna. And, there's a lot of pieces I like about this, but I do have to raise the big question is about how we attach to an existing house when it has its own identity. And we just were looking at Concord Art, which is sort of an example of doing something kind of completely different in color and a little bit of massing that's separate from the existing house. And that's generally what we're looking for, is to in its national, guidelines that the HDC is based on from Department of Interiors, is preserving that existing front house so that it reads on its own and that the addition is subservient to that. And I think there are a lot of moves that I commend Elise and all of you on a very thorough job, but there's a blurring of the existing house to the addition, especially shown on this side, where if you didn't know, you wouldn't know where the existing front house is. And that clarity, when you have the clarity between the existing front house, the historic house, and there's a separation, clear separation, either through different architecture or a setback link or a glass, it doesn't have to necessarily be historic, that actually strengthens the front house because it's clear what is old and what is new. And that clarity of what is old and what is new is what we on the historic district is always striving for. And so that is my fundamental question on this project. And I also agree, as part of that, I agree absolutely with Dennis's comments that we'd have to really examine those existing windows in that historic part before we ever let you replace those. And we understand completely why from a performance and energy, but it's very clear in that we're passionate about keeping existing houses, existing windows. So there is not a clarity between what is existing and what is proposed. It's all sort of becoming one big extended house with all kind of the same details. And I have a big concern about that. And we're always pushing homeowners to separate the historic part from the new part when you're putting on this magnitude of addition, so that there's clarity of what is old and what is new. And that is massing and materials and whatever else architects have up their bag of tricks. So that is my fundamental question on this project. And I'm curious what other commissioners think.
No, Tim, you stated it very accurately and concisely as part of HDC's charge to maintain the integrity of the original structure, which is maintained here, but it is a bit lost.
Yeah, it's a substantial addition, no doubt about it.
If you, sorry, would you scroll down a little, Kim? No, the other direction, sorry. Yeah, I guess, so I had a question just to your point. Because you can see all the elevation in these drawings, and yet you can't see all of them from the public way. So, and that's not a defense of what you're saying, but what I'm trying to hear is that the elements that tie to the original house and the addition should look different or new to distinguish between them. Have I got that right? Or preferred to look different?
I mean, this elevation works a little better because it is stepping back and continues to step back. But on the other side, it steps the other way beyond the existing house and is flush with the existing house. So this side has the right intentions, I suppose. I mean, if you look at this, there's kind of like three pieces, right? There's the existing house, there's the middle link, and then there's the garage, all kind of equal size. So even that diminishes the existing house. But I also, Joanna, you're right. This is a deep lot, and this house is stepping back away. And how much can you see? So I think that is under consideration on this side. So there's, to some degree, a little less concern on this side, but the other side is doing exactly the opposite.
It is the other side. We're lining up with an existing wall of the garage. We could not move the garage anywhere because you would not get into it. We need the turnaround at the bottom. So I had to maintain that back wall of the garage. It is only aligned on the second floor. Not on the first floor. It's not aligned on the first floor. It's an interesting part, this, and I've been in front of historic many times over the years, and I will bring this to the next meeting, the address, but there is a house, it's by the railroad bridge on Main Street. Okay. It's a very old house, nice old house. And I probably did an addition on it 20 years ago. And that point was made. They didn't want to interrupt the house. They wanted this family room that they wanted to add to be its own thing. Okay. So we did that. It had its own hip roof. It was separated by a single story situation. Okay. Years later, other people were there and another addition was added on the right side. That addition did more what this is. It flowed with the house. They took the roof around and they made it much more part of the house, increasing the massing feeling of it. And I drive by that house 10 times a day. And I look at the addition I did. I find it distracting, frankly. Okay. I look at the other addition that flows with the house and I say, looks really good. It just seems to fit. It feels like the house evolved over time, similar to the way you see farmhouses evolving and that type of thing. And so I'm not saying that I understand what you're saying, but I feel like there's been inconsistency with messaging. And I'm not sure, as I pass that addition I did 20 years ago every day, to me, that's more distracting from an historic or, what is it supposed to be to me than the addition on the right that flows with the house. So I look at that this was a kind of a rambling addition over years. I mean, this is the only house in this area that has not been added onto. The house itself is tiny. The bathroom you can't even brush your teeth. It is so small. Like, this is not a house that you could say, oh, we'll add 50%. It still is unbelievably small. So it needed a large addition. It needed to feel that way. So, and I do also maintain that when you come to the site from the public way, you see it receding. You don't look at it flat on like this, unless you're the neighbor on the right or the left. So I just wanted to say my bit about that, because I do feel that you have to look at it multiple ways in historic, in what we're trying to do here.
Okay.
This is obviously going to take a site visit, at
Yes.
least one. And so I think getting a feel for the property is going to be important. Looking at the plot plan, this is a very tight lot, if those lot lines are what I think they are.
Mhm.
You're not building this on a very big lot, and you're filling much of it, given the wetlands in back.
Our lot actually goes pretty far back, believe it or not. It's all wetland, unbuildable, but it is a pretty long lot. But yes, it is very narrow.
So the zone line is not, that's not the end lot line. The lot, it
No.
goes much further than that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could see the lot as 22,777 square feet. So it's a very, very large lot.
Okay. It's just very narrow.
Very narrow.
Mm.
Like even to get a driveway and turn around in it, yeah, you're right. It's very narrow. So all of, is to say is, my hope is you could come, and see it, because I think that is really important, because we worked very hard to sort of step it back and be subservient, but get a little bit more elbow room to have actually another couple bathrooms, in the kitchen with a family room, it's not grossly huge. And you'll see, because of that original, that the garage behind it, I mean, you're not talking about huge amount of space, but it is, the hope is in essence that we could do something that would be, not unlike many of the neighbors have been able to do, is just add a little bit of room behind what is historic and is the original. And certainly we respect and want to preserve and honor and clean up. I mean, I would love this house to be, in much better shape, and the landscaping and everything to just be able to, I think many people would tell you, you might even drive down Monument tomorrow and be like, wow, I didn't really notice much of that house, because it's been sort of, a little bit overgrown, and cleaning it up and giving it, a little TLC will go a long way to, like, a house with good bones, and, someone can enjoy.
What is the square foot? What is the square footage now, and what will be the square footage when it's finished?
Do you know that, Elise? So I could look it up.
Yes, the existing square footage is close to 1,700 square feet, and the finish would be just under like 3,800.
I don't have any problem with the size of the house, and it, given the garage where you're replacing, you're kind of extending back to where it is. It really is just more of an architectural question of how to have that front house feel like it has its own identity and it's not blurred as you go back. It's the big house, little house, back house, barn question. And usually in those, it's very clear what the original existing house is. And I appreciate what you're saying. And this is a very quiet house that I frankly didn't even notice until it came and I looked at it and I was, oh, okay, this is, and I also appreciate that you're stepping back and it goes back quite a ways. But the preservation, and again, I'm going
I agree with you. I
to need other commissioners to comment, but the preservation of the existing house so it reads as a block, I would, without just so there's clarity between the existing front house and the addition. I think that's if that line is blurred, everything becomes the same house.
Mhm.
And that front house is just lost. And that's, I think it doesn't require radical architectural surgery, and it doesn't require reduction. In my opinion, I don't think the house needs to be smaller. There's plenty of very large houses on Monument. That's the nature of Monument. And this is a small house, so it's just more of, and tied in with that. I mean, we just had a house that we reviewed on Main Street near the corner of Main and Elm, the stick style house, and they wanted to put double windows in the front block of the house, and we said no. And they readily agreed. They said, we're glad you came back and told us to keep the front simple house intact and let the addition be subservient in some quiet way to that front house. So the front house always still reads as that core house. So that's my question to the commission, as I would like to see, we're being shown one alternative. I'd like to see another alternative, if others agree, where there's some subtle work of the massing or the fenestration so that front house, that historic front house reads as the front house.
We actually, about a year ago, I think, at 93 Monument, which I think is just the lot up. It's a little sort of arts and crafts-ish house. And they have a little barn in the back. But anyway, that was
right
one
next door.
Yeah, right. And
Mr. Von Braun's house? Have I got that right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're on the call.
It's your house, right? Yeah. So,
Yes.
so when you were putting on your addition in the back, we had sort of discussed about, the same thing, like, one, I think an initial plan had made it a little more seamless or contiguous, and we, made the same point, like, particularly, your house, just like this one, is really quite special. And
Yeah.
so, we were kind of looking for just some distinction between the two, which you guys executed. So that, that it's not an uncommon request, or concern of ours. It's sort of what we're supposed to do. So, no, I hear you, Tim, and agree. Let's see, Joel, have you given us the overview?
I could speak to that too. I mean, we certainly could if it's just the left side elevation, if I'm hearing correctly, that we're having, I can see how the front house is flush with the addition. We could certainly revise, at least give one other option for the next meeting.
Sure, I think that'd be good. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the hour. I don't mean to cut it short, but if you guys
answer any quick questions that
we
anyone
have to have a site visit anyway.
It'll be Andersen windows, wood clad, the Woodwright 400 series windows. We have a door to the mudroom, which is a Simpson door. All the specs are on for that. Wood door, wood sill. Right now the window casing to the house is a colonial sill. Perfect. We're going to match that with a PVC colonial sill with 1x4 trim, 1x5 header across the top. It also has a cap on it that matches the house. We are going to go with black wood shutters. They're all in there. I don't know if you need to see pictures of each one tonight, but I mean, you're sure. This is the shutters. They'll be painted. They're made of wood. Mortise intended. Exactly how.
Since you just happen to have shutters here, I don't want to derail things, but you probably know this. Make sure that the shutters could actually cover the window.
Yes.
Not.
They do now. Like they will be made to cover fully. The hardware will be similar. If we can reuse the hardware, we will. I don't see why not. It's pretty much the same as what we can buy, but we would be using like hardware. Shutters would be the same size. We would I prefer not to use pine board, which is what is now the trim on the house. I would like to use a PVC product called Acre, and I don't know if it's been proposed before, but the
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and I can certainly provide a sample for the walkthrough.
Sure.
It has a great grain, as you can see. It really looks like a cedar board, in my opinion. It stains. You can stain it. You can paint it. It's a very versatile wood composite.
Yeah.
I've used a bunch of it too. I like it too. It's great stuff.
That's
It
the
is good
siding
stuff.
on Concord Arcade.
Oh, really? Is that it? Oh, that's
Yeah.
it?
I've used it on a few projects. The only thing I've ever had a problem with is every PVC has is it can heat up. You know, if you're going to use it in a sunny spot, your joints can separate a little here and there, but it's a great product. The front entry we're keeping the same. The front door we were trying to maintain. I don't think the front door is original to the house, but we are going to keep it. And here's the Simpson door. Very nice door, fir, wood sill, PVC trim. That would be PVC trim on the whole addition. We'd like to do the main house too, just so it's preserved while we have our hands on it for as long as it will. That way it goes into the future completely redone with the same, say, stamp date as the addition. Same with, we're going to replace the roof, asphalt shingle, pewter wood. We are going to paint that whole house. Not sure the color. Then on the decks off the mudroom and off the back, we were going to use a mahogany boards. Any other questions or any other like specifics? I can rattle them out. I just can't think of them all.
Okay. Let's see. No, I think, let me see if anyone in the public has any questions. The dwindling public, no. We do have a letter from one of the neighbors applauding that this house is getting some attention.
Yeah, I'd like to, if I may, Kate, sort of second that. You know, we're at 93, the immediate neighbor, and Joanna and Joel have sat down with me and my wife a couple of times and gone over the plans and the ideas. And we also concur that, you know, the house, sort of when you drive by, it looks a little haunted and definitely needs to be brought back to life. And we would certainly appreciate that, being the immediate neighbor and not looking into dark windows that have no lights ever. And so we think that the architecture that Elise has drawn is tasteful and appropriate. Certainly, just from our vantage point, we see that one side of the house that does accentuate, I would say, a little bit more the historic nature of the original. For, you know, whatever reason, there's sort of a border between the old and the new that's very clear, and we find it very attractive. Overall, we're quite supportive of what Joanne and Joel are doing.
That's great. Thank you for taking the time to participate. All right, then I'm going to bounce it back to the commission. Let's maybe have a motion for continuance, a site visit, let's say. Somebody looking ripe. Oh, look at Jeff. He wants to do it again.
I do.
Yeah, I could tell.
All right. I motion to continue at 83 Monument Street, and that we set up a site visit. And can I get a second?
Second? Tim, that's a second.
Second.
Thank you. Joanna or Joel or Elise, you guys know this drill. We already have a site visit, I think, for 8 o'clock that morning, so you guys would be around 8:30 on April the 15th. Just somebody has to be there. Is that okay?
Yep, that'll be okay. I can
Okay.
make
Okay, so Let's vote on that. Dennis? We're voting on the motion to continue. Dennis, can you hear me?
I thought I wasn't voting on this. I thought it wasn't. I'm back voting again. Okay,
Back voting. I took you off for one, but you were back on.
You were going
Dennis,
back and forth, and who was voting?
Only because Kristen was making the motion, I decided to go with that. So Dennis,
I'm in favor of it? Sure.
Thank you. Walter.
Aye.
Thank you. Jeff.
Aye.
Tim.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So we'll continue for 3 weeks from now. You'll be our second site visit that morning.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the hanging in there award tonight goes to Mimi Graney, who started our meeting and now gets to shut it down. Well, maybe. Let's see. I think you're the last, Mimi. This will be quick. Mimi's just giving us an update or apprising us of one of her projects.
Well, I have kind of a long presentation, but
you don't rush on our account. I just didn't want.
Well, I am aware that you all are volunteers, so thank you for the work that you all do. One project, I had submitted it as an application, but then was told it was incomplete. So this is just I guess, an update. The public art project, the Concord Conservatory of Music, is proposing an installation for pianos on the town. Their goal is to have 6 decorated pianos at a number of different locations around Concord. 2 proposed for Concord Center, one that would be on the lawn of the Wright Tavern, the other in front of the visitor center. This is not the actual design. There's right now a call for art, and those will be selected the beginning of April. The idea is that they would be basically upright pianos decorated in different ways. And the idea is that they would invite passersby to play as they go along. So they got funding for the 250th. Their plan is to have all the pianos gathered together at an event the last weekend of May, and then they would be deployed out in the field through the month of June, and then be brought back home at the end and either disposed of or auctioned off. They haven't figured out that part of it. But if anybody has any questions at this stage, otherwise I'll just have a fuller application for you in April.
Sounds great.
What happens when it rains?
Yeah, are they plastic or that's the one thing that I've wondered.
So they have kind of piano ambassadors that will cover them over with tarps if there's really inclement weather. They are pianos kind of at the end of their lifespan. They'll show up tuned, but they're not expected to kind of.
I'd give them about 5 minutes outside, so it's over. That's it.
Okay.
All right. So then the other project is the Black Heritage Trail markers. So to update you on those.
Sure.
So the team has been meeting consistently. Folks remember this is the DEI committee, the Robbins House, the Visitor Center, and Economic Vitality with funding from Mass Office of Travel and Tourism. The proposal is 8 to 10 markers of a kind of a subset of a much larger number of sites around the town. The idea is to celebrate Concord's Black heritage as a way of making these in kind of right now underappreciated stories more visible. And so the key highlight is that the review committee or advisory team developed a matrix and looked at all of the sites and put it through the lens of how historically significant is each of these sites. Agency, basically, does it tell the story around not just like the white savior story, but really like the role of Black people in the history of Concord. The interpretive power and clarity, like can we tell that story well and clearly? Do we have enough information to be able to tell it? We looked at them kind of together, like how can it tell us a kind of cohesive narrative as a set? And then kind of is that site accessible, publicly available, and how can we tie it in with other programming? So we basically narrowed this down to 13 sites that we're now pursuing with the individual property owners. One is the Great Field, as folks know that was the historic Black neighborhood over where currently the waste treatment site is. We're proposing something that would be probably more on the Reformatory Trail. The townhouse, we're really kind of centering in around the stories of John Garrison, and this is where he had worked. The Universal Meeting House, currently Holy Family, highlighting Frederick Douglass and the sort of national leaders of the abolitionist movement and how they were tied in with Concord's leadership. John Jack and his gravestone, recognizing that it's one of the very rare headstones for Black folks. Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, this is relatively new scholarship around the town-owned plot and the discovery of a number of the prominent Black families that are buried there. The Center School, recognizing this was where Ellen Garrison had gone to school, where she was when that kind of famous moment when she walked hand in hand with a white schoolmate in the parade. Trinitarian Congregational Church, and we're sort of looking at the role of the religious history in Concord and that kind of interfaith, interracial relationships through the faith communities. The Bigelow House and its role with the Underground Railroad. The Whiting House, and this one because so many of the major national abolitionists had been there, and we were kind of, for this one, kind of centering in on Harriet Tubman, recognizing, especially for young people, like these kind of commonly known names, how can we highlight them and the folks will have a sense of recognition and they want to delve in deeper. The Garrison Homestead on Monument Street. The John Cumming House or Brister Freeman House over at the Route 2 Rotary. The Brister and Frender Freeman House over in the town forest. And then we're sort of looking at the Dugan neighborhood, which is kind of one that's kind of highlighting more, a little bit of like tying in with the kind of agricultural history. It's another kind of spot that gets us not just like the more urban context, but like some of the natural areas. And then we're sort of now starting to delve into design. And we've all along been looking at what's compatible with Concord's landscape to have a cohesive set. So even some of these signs will be in different locations. We want to have sort of a sign that could work for these different contexts. Want to make sure it's durable because it's going to be outside and it's through public procurement in a public realm. We looked at there's a huge variety of signage in Concord, so it's not like to kind of be compatible with what's existing. It's not a kind of standard at the moment. And then both from some of the feedback that we've been getting from different audiences and within the our advisory team, folks really are talking about having signage, anticipating that it's going to be shorter term. Both a lot of the Black scholars were saying about how prone to vandalism, especially signage around Black history can be. So recognizing we're most likely going to need to replace it. And then also recognizing that this scholarship it's such an active story right now and so many new things coming out, anticipating that we'll want to update these relatively quickly. And then we also kind of delved into wanting the identity of the signs to fit the vernacular of a trail marker rather than some of the other things like a historical marker or a war memorial or things like that or for a particular house. So one of the things that we saw is trail markers are often in this vertical format. So we started looking at that. And then we were recognizing for ones that have got that more temporary, can more easily be reproduced. Got us looking at the kind of aluminum signs. And then the group was really wanting to be able to include some kind of graphical element, whether that's a photograph or an illustration. So that got us into sort of thinking about digital printing. And so again, kind of looking at some of these vertical formats. So our next level for community engagement is we're planning on kind of doing temporary lawn signs that would basically have some of the content that we're proposing and another sign that would basically say, this is what we're working on, and to make those available during Patriots Day. After the Patriots Day parade this year, there'll be a block party in Concord Center. And we'll have a table there for people to kind of give us feedback about the signs, give us feedback about the project, and ask questions. So that's the sped up version of that presentation. And here to answer any questions or hear some of your feedback on the direction we're taking.
I'm fairly familiar with this because I've been getting updates from Anne. But, you know, I don't know if anyone has any questions. It's kind of a, you know, informative from Mimi thing. No, a lot of work in a short amount of time.
Seems
Walter?
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't,
It sounds like a great idea. And I guess, are you going to propose some signage, make some up and then show that? Or is this, for us to look at, or?
Yeah, so right now the kind of iterative process is we've got those 13 locations defined. So now we'll be narrowing that down to see if we can get the permission from those individual property owners that they would welcome a sign, and then look at exactly where we're proposing for it to be. So our goal is to have that completed by kind of the middle of next month, so 2 to 3 weeks. Then for the sign design, I'm contracting with a sign designer. I had a meeting with Brian Faberman, who folks probably know have done a lot of wayfinding sign, especially in historical neighborhoods. And he kind of often does this type of kind of more institutional, this type of signage programs, especially the kind of digital format. So hoping to have a contract with him early next week, and he's already got some initial ideas. So we're hoping to have some at least concepts within the next 3 weeks.
Great.
He does good work. Yeah, his stuff's interesting. I guess that's it. Do you have any questions of us, Mimi?
Nope. I was just kind of wondering about the feedback around the aluminum and a digital print. I know that that's not the preferred format, but especially hearing the feedback about wanting something shorter term, just kind of wondering people's thoughts on that.
Good question. Well, I think when this came up a month or two ago, we did touch on that a bit. And these, when you say temporary, are we thinking like 6 months? I mean, I think that's what sort of mitigates what the material might be. I mean, if they were,
So 6 months is a little too short.
Okay.
The kind of the funding was a capital grant from Mass Office of Travel and Tourism. It's not meant to be a temporary sign. But at the same time, we're sort of thinking like a couple of years.
Okay.
So the benches had a 3-year term, so I'd want to at least match the bench. But we're not sort of thinking about something that's going to be a historical marker that's going to be there for 30 years. We're recognizing that we'll want to have some turnover of the content.
Well, a couple of years, aluminum. I'm not. Yeah.
And there's something, if you imagine doing these out of, wood and all that, they just become chunky, and so somehow the more modern, slick thing seems more appropriate to me. I don't know. My gut reaction when you showed the photos was they're big. I don't know how big these are going to be, but especially if they're going in front of houses, and they obviously have to be legible. But that was just a gut. Do you have any sense of the size based on those photos you showed us?
I don't right now. Right now, I kind of gave a whole variety of ones. We are kind of looking for something human scaled that people are going to be approaching from, like 4 or 5 feet, that they're not going to be,
right.
They're not going to be massive.
Yeah, the size that I think is nice, and maybe this is not appropriate for this. the Minuteman Trail from Acton. Have you seen those signs that are they're stone markers? If you go down Strawberry Hill Road over to Acton, and there's stone markers, and they have signs that are nice little plaques that are not very large, but they're very beautifully done. It might be worth taking a look at those. They're a much more modest sign on black posts slanted, but very contemporary in look. Do you plan other trails? My comment I've already made about the fact that I think we need an integrated sign system. We've gone back and forth on that. I can think of a number of other trails we could have in town, and of course, I worry about an integrated history rather than having a series of signage for women's history or indigenous history and Black history, that we have a one sign system. And I hope that these are in the process of helping us get there, so that these signs, will come down at some point, or some will stay, depending on what kind of history we want to tell in Concord. But I just worry about a plethora of signs everywhere moving along.
One of the things that's been coming up a lot is how much recognizing the multiracial aspect of this story, and it's really kind of expanding who the cast of actors are in Concord history. There's a lot of people that kind of hadn't been included as part of the story. So I think we are telling kind of Black heritage, but it's also the story of the American Revolution. It's a story of Concord's role in abolitionist history, the individual families, about the role of agriculture. So it's just adding a different dimension to the kind of the history of Concord.
Mm.
I recognize it's late, so if folks
home.
have other feedback along the way, our team's gonna has been meeting. We've got having an interim meeting. I think we're going to be meeting next Wednesday. So if folks want to sit in and kind of give us some feedback as part of that, because we'll be sort of looking at the particular content that we'll be doing for these temporary signs that will inform the more permanent ones. And starting some of the conversations, delving more into design. So I welcome you. And those meetings are at noon, so we'll all be a little perkier.
That's my next question. They're noon, and where are they?
They're all virtual.
Oh, they're all virtual.
Yep.
And so is that out of your office, Economic Vitality, or?
It gets posted in the regular town calendar.
Okay.
And then if you just type into the search engine for Black heritage or Black heritage signs or anything related to that, it pulls up the page, and I've been putting all the different meetings on that one page.
Oh, well, that's a great idea. Thank you. I'll try to send a reminder to people. That's a week from today. Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday, yes.
The 18th, Wednesday the 25th, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think well, thank you very much for, like I said, starting us off and closing us. That's really diehard work, maybe.
That's the job.
But so thanks. I appreciate your keeping us apprised as you go, as this develops. I know it's a lot to do, but I think that's it.
Okay, well, I'll see you all next month.
Thanks so much.
Amy.
Thanks. Take care. Good night. Yes.
Don't we have to vote on the two continuances for the?
I have to vote on those?
There's two that got asked for extensions or whatever they're called.
Right. They did. Yes.
I don't know if we have four people. Walter, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yay, Walter. Okay.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Tim. I would have completely missed that. So, on the agenda at the end, actually, right. We should have done that before Mimi spoke. In between the Boynton Brennan entry and Mimi, under continued public hearings, 22 Monument Square, that's the townhouse, and 320 Lowell Road, that's 320 Lowell Road. They both need continuances, so I need we can probably do it in one fell swoop, a motion and a second.
I move be continued. Sorry, the hearing be continued without discussion for 22 Monument to April 15th meeting, and the hearing for 320 Lowell Road will be continued without discussion to the meeting on May 6th, 2026.
Excellent. Second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, Walter, we'll
Aye.
take Jeff,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
I'm an aye. So we have agreed to continue those applications as requested. And one last motion, and that is to adjourn. Let's give it to the faceless Walter Clay. Walter, can you make a motion?
I move that we adjourn.
And I need a
I'll
second.
second that. Everybody
Thank
will
you very much,
second it.
Dennis. And all in favor?
Am I allowed to ask if we know anything about trial?
Oh, Dennis, you probably have the most information.
Yeah, the only thing I know and is that I gather this is public information, so I can
Yes.
disclose it, and that is that Luis was the one person from our group, because he was chair at the time, that was deposed. And I think it was done last week. And the line of questioning that the lawyer from the developer was looking at is whether we'd broken any rules by talking to each other. That's why they wanted the emails. I don't know if everybody asked for them, but some of us got asked for our emails. And then there were certain statements that were supposedly made contributed to Luis. One was I think that he said at one point to the developer that they would never get their plan through because we didn't want anything built there, which of course Luis said is totally false. So there was a lot of innuendo, overheard statements, things we might have said, and Luis felt that he rebutted all of them, that none of them were true from what he knew from any statements he made. I think the readout was that we'll hear in a month, and it's about a 50-50 chance that that he'll come out with some kind of win. But I gather the win is that, and I'm not clear on this, that he'll be able to come back to us again, and that he'll get the ability to build a house there. But Luis was not sure that it was going to be what he wants to build there. There's some other process involved. So
I suspect, Dennis, that we should probably leave it there at this point. Since we're recording, we are public.
Yeah, that's all right. This is public.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
It's okay. Yeah.
So anyway, so anyway, that's all I know at this point. So it's moving along, and we'll probably know within a month or so. This is not a jury trial. The judge will make up its mind.
Yeah, the judge reads everything. It's called by submission. And yeah, I think that's what they said in about a month. Sometimes the judge, in these cases, will say to the plaintiff in this case, yes, you can, you did everything you're supposed to. You can resubmit. Sometimes, so that would mean that the plaintiff could come before us again. But a lot of times, if that's moving in that direction, a judge, I believe, can just also have him completely bypass HGC, because the judge can, determine he basically met the standards. He should have gotten a permit, and they go forward that way. And maybe there's other interpretations too, but we'll know in a month.
And if they lose, they'll be back to you again, because if they want to continue building, they're going to go back through the process anyway.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, we did any other questions? Okay, Tim, looking at you.
I didn't mean to extend the meeting. I know everybody's tired.